What would happen if the very thing you're chasing, perfection, is the reason you never feel at peace? We work more, shop more, scroll longer, always searching for a better version of ourselves. And then, serenity never seems to show up. The Buddha taught that suffering doesn't come from life being imperfect, but from our refusal to accept it as it is. Like a candle wavering in the wind, our minds are carried away by the next mistake, the next flaw, the next judgment. The paradox is, when we stop demanding perfection, a deep stillness begins to reveal itself. Imagine waking up already tired. Your phone lights up with a flood of unread messages, work is waiting, your body is heavy after a sleepless night. And all day, a little voice keeps whispering, "You're not enough. You haven't done enough." We try to heal by pushing harder, one more achievement, another self-upgrade plan, a longer to-do list. But the truth is, perfection is like the horizon, the more you run toward it, the farther it recedes. You will never arrive. The good news is, peace doesn't depend on becoming flawless. Buddhism offers us another way to see. Instead of chasing a life we imagine, we can awaken within the life unfolding right here. Instead of trying to fix every detail, we learn to rest in the reality of this moment. In this video, we will explore 7 Buddhist lessons to let go of the obsession with perfection. Each lesson is simple, easy to practice, supported by both ancient wisdom and modern psychology. And by the end of the journey, you'll realize, peace doesn't come from polishing yourself forever, but from knowing how to breathe, to live, and to recognize that, right now, you are already enough. Have you noticed that, the harder we try to become perfect, the more exhausted and uneasy we feel? Perfection is like a ladder with no end. We keep climbing, but never reach the top. Instead of bringing peace, it only breeds stress, anxiety, and endless comparisons. The Buddha called this dukkha, suffering. But what's striking is this, suffering doesn't simply come from outside events, but from how we react, from the clinging of our own minds. When we want everything to be perfect, we construct an ideal image and then suffer when reality doesn't match what we imagined. Picture someone clutching a thin, fragile glass vase. He fears it might fall and break, fears someone touching it, fears every speck of dust settling on it. The tighter he holds it, the more his hands ache, and the more likely the vase is to crack. Our life with perfection is the same. We cling to reputation, career, self-image, and that very grip makes the mind tremble and wear out. Someone toils late into the night, yet even with achievement still feels not good enough. Someone takes dozens of photos, edits forever before posting, yet still worries others will notice some flaw. Someone keeps taking self-help courses, always thinking, my current self isn't worthy, and never lets themselves rest. Psychology studies show, perfectionists tend to have higher levels of anxiety, depression, and stress. Because they set impossible standards, and each time they fall short, they blame and criticize themselves. The brain reacts to small failures like it does to real threats, cortisol spikes, the heart races, the body tenses. In other words, perfection doesn't nourish us, it wears us down day by day. You can try one very small step right now. Breathe in deeply. Exhale slowly. And in your heart, say to yourself, in this moment, I am enough. This is not an empty affirmation. It's a reminder, you don't need to wait until you're perfect to be allowed to be at peace. Peace can begin with this breath. The trap of perfection is that it promises peace, but actually brings pressure. And the way out of this trap begins with accepting reality instead of trying to control it. Have you noticed that, the more we try to control everything, the more powerless we feel? One root of suffering is the illusion that we can control it all, work, relationships, emotions, health, even the flow of life. And yet, everything is always changing, and nothing fully lies in our hands. In Buddhism, this is called anicca, impermanence. All phenomena arise, change, and pass away. When we cling, it's like gripping sand in the palm, the tighter the grip, the faster it slips through. Peace doesn't come from controlling reality, but from accepting it and moving with its flow. Imagine you're paddling a small boat on a river. If you try to stop the current, you'll exhaust yourself and go nowhere. But if you know how to loosen the oars and let the boat drift, you'll find the river carries you farther, more gently. Life is the same. We cannot halt the river of impermanence, but we can learn to row with it. A carefully prepared plan, derailed by one sudden event, changes everything. An urgent meeting cuts into your schedule and you lose your sense of control over time. A loved one behaves differently than you expected, and you feel hurt. In those moments, if we rigidly demand things must go my way, we'll flare up, tense up, or blame ourselves. But if we accept, everything is changing, and this will pass, the mind naturally opens. In modern psychology, there's a branch called acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT. Research shows, people who accept rather than constantly resist reality have lower stress and greater psychological resilience. When the brain is in a state of acceptance, the parasympathetic nervous system is more active, the heart slows, the breath deepens, the body relaxes. In other words, acceptance isn't giving up, it's choosing not to add extra suffering. Next time something goes off your plan, try this. Pause. Don't react immediately. Breathe in deeply. Exhale slowly. Gently whisper, everything changes. I allow this to pass. Just 3 breaths like that, and you'll feel the difference. You didn't control the situation, but you chose how to be present. When we learn to accept instead of control, we stop being slaves to circumstance. We become people who can let go, who can go with the flow, and then peace has room to blossom. Have you ever fallen into 2 extremes, either pushing yourself to exhaustion or letting everything slide? Speaking about liberation, the Buddha emphasized something vital, the middle way. No extremity in asceticism, and no extremity in indulgence. Don't demand perfection from yourself, and don't abandon responsibility for living. This is the path to balance and serenity. As a young ascetic, the Buddha tried extreme practices, fasting, self-mortification, tormenting the body in hopes of enlightenment. But he soon realized, when the body is depleted, the mind is clouded, wisdom can't arise. Nor does plunging into sensual pleasure help, that only further entangles the mind. From there, the Buddha discovered the middle way, just enough, mindful, balanced. Someone asked the Buddha, what does it mean to live the middle way? He answered with the image of a lute. If the string is too tight, it snaps. If the string is too loose, it makes no sound. Only when the string is tuned just right does it produce harmonious music. Our lives are the same, too tight burnout, too slack emptiness. Only when we know how to tune the string do we live in a balanced rhythm. One person dives into extreme productivity, up at 5 a.m., working non-stop, never allowing rest, ending in burnout. Another, afraid of failure, falls to the opposite extreme, procrastination, avoidance, drifting, and still feels empty. The middle way is this: work with focus and responsibility, but also allow yourself to rest, relax, and savor each breath. In psychology, there's all-or-nothing thinking. This style keeps us in extremes, either brilliant success or total failure. Studies show, people stuck in this mindset are more prone to stress, anxiety, and self-criticism. Meanwhile, those who seek balance, intentional rest, working within healthy limits, tend to have sustainable performance and steadier moods. You can try a small practice to cultivate the middle way. When you work, set a 25-minute timer. Focus completely during that window. When the timer rings, stand up, take a few steps, and take 3 deep breaths. Then return to your task. This isn't laziness, it's how you keep the string just tight enough. Resting at the right time helps you sustain clarity. The middle way is not a half-hearted compromise, it's the art of balanced living. Don't torture yourself with the pressure of perfection. Don't drift in apathy. Walk steadily, mindfully, gently between the two extremes. Have you opened social media, seen someone else's success or happiness, and instantly felt less than? Comparison is one of the flames that burns up joy. When we look through the lens of better worse, superior inferior, we'll always feel inadequate. Buddhism teaches that the path to peace is not comparison but compassion, for others and for ourselves. In the teachings, there is a practice called metta, unconditional loving kindness, or the loving heart. Loving kindness doesn't demand others be like us, nor require ourselves to meet certain standards to be worthy. It is a gentle, accepting, embracing energy. When we cultivate loving kindness, we stop seeing life as a competition and start seeing it as a chance for all of us to bloom in our own ways. Imagine a garden. There are roses, lotuses, chrysanthemums, orchids. If the rose keeps comparing itself to the lotus, it will always suffer. Why don't I grow in the mud like the lotus? Why isn't my fragrance as pure? But when it accepts, I am a rose, I offer my own scent, it becomes truly beautiful. People are the same, each of us is a kind of flower in the great garden of life. Someone watches a coworker get promoted faster feels inferior. Someone scrolls and sees friends traveling, happy families wonders, why not me? But if they shift from comparison to compassion, they'll see, I wish that person happiness. And I, too, deserve gentleness toward myself. Neuroscience shows, when practicing compassion, the brain activates regions that produce oxytocin, the bonding, safety hormone. This reduces cortisol, the stress hormone, slows the heart rate, and brings warmth and ease. Psychologists also find, instead of self-criticism, people who treat themselves kindly bounce back more easily after failure. You can try a 2-minute loving-kindness meditation. Gently close your eyes and breathe deeply. Silently say to yourself, may I be safe. May I be healthy. May I be at peace. Then picture a loved one and say, may you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be at peace. If you can, extend it to someone you like less, may you also be safe and at peace. With just a few minutes, you've traded comparison for compassion. When we compare, the heart narrows. When we're compassionate, the heart opens. And in that open heart, we find simple joy and real peace. Have you ever wondered, if one day I become the most perfect version of myself, will I actually be happy? We often nourish an ideal self-image, stronger, more successful, more attractive, more capable. We believe only when we reach that image will we deserve love, recognition, or peace. But the truth is, the perfect self is a mirage we construct, and the more we chase it, the farther we stray from who we really are. In Buddhism there is anatta, non-self, meaning there is no fixed, unchanging me. That self we cling to is actually a bundle of habits, memories, feelings, thoughts, changing moment by moment. If there is no fixed self, how can there be a perfect self? Peace doesn't arrive when we create an ideal self, but when we release the illusion of it. A person spends years carving a stone statue. He believes that once it's finished, it will make him happy forever. But when it's complete, the statue can't smile at him, can't embrace him, can't bring life. Likewise, the perfect self we try to build is a cold statue, perhaps beautiful, but unable to offer warmth. Someone spends hours editing their online images to have a perfect profile, but then fears others seeing the real imperfections. Someone sets continual goals to upgrade themselves, yet the more they upgrade, the wider the gap feels between the present and the ideal. Someone lives to please others to prove they're worthy, but ends up losing touch with their own heart. Psychologists call this self-discrepancy, the gap between the actual self and the ideal self. Research shows, the larger this gap, the more likely anxiety, depression, and shame. Conversely, when we accept ourselves as we are, with both light and shadow, we feel happier and freer. A small practice to loosen the perfect self-illusion. Sit quietly for a few minutes. Breathe slowly and notice the stream of thoughts. When a thought arises, I must be this, I must be that, simply smile and whisper, this is just a thought, not the truth of me. Return to the breath. This practice helps us see we don't need to become any perfect version. We just need to come home to ourselves, alive, authentic, and not caged by illusion. The perfect self is just a statue in the mind. When we set it down, we see we are a flowing river, needing no frame, no perfection. And it is precisely that imperfection that makes us alive. Do you notice we often live as if we're in a race? Rushing through meals, tasks, even sleep. The faster we run, the less we ever arrive. Peace isn't about squeezing more into a day, it's about whether we actually live the moments we have. When life moves too fast, we miss life itself. Buddhism teaches, only the present moment truly exists. If we miss the present, we miss our life. In the teaching on mindfulness, the Buddha says, return to the breath, to your steps, to what is happening now. You don't need to find life elsewhere, life is right here. He said, when walking, know you are walking. When eating, know you are eating. When breathing, know you are breathing. This simple awareness is the key to deep serenity. A Zen master once asked a disciple, "Where are you going?" The disciple replied, "I'm going to look for peace." The teacher smiled. If you don't stop, how will you notice peace is standing right next to you? Life is the same. Peace isn't at the finish line, it's here in a slow step, in a sip of water, in the birdsong outside the window. We often eat while looking at our phones, and by the end of the meal we can't even remember the taste. We work while thinking of the next task, we're never fully present with the one at hand. We walk while our minds drift to the future or the past, rarely feeling the ground beneath our feet. The result, a day passes quickly, but we haven't truly lived it. Modern research shows, mindfulness practice reduces anxiety, improves sleep, and boosts concentration. When we slow down and show up fully, the brain reduces cortisol, the stress hormone, and activates regions related to safety and happiness. Interestingly, people who practice mindfulness aren't doing less, but they work more effectively because they're truly present in each action. You can try a small practice called mindful eating. Choose a simple meal. Put your phone down, no TV, no distractions. Before eating, look closely at the food, notice the colors and aroma. When you chew, chew slowly, taste each flavor, each texture. Keep a gentle breath and be aware, life is nourishing me. This practice reminds us, slowing down doesn't mean doing less, it means living more deeply. When we stop, life opens like a flower. Peace doesn't wait for us tomorrow, nor in some perfect version of ourselves. Peace is here when we live fully with each breath, each step, each moment. What would happen if, instead of asking, how do I become more perfect? We asked, what can I be grateful for right now? The obsession with perfection always leads to, not enough, the home isn't nice enough, the job isn't good enough, I'm not skilled enough. But Buddhism points to the opposite path, try TUC, knowing enough, appreciating what is already here. When we're grateful, the heart opens. And surprisingly, gratitude brings the sense of fullness perfection never delivers. The Buddha taught, the one who knows enough is the richest. Rich here doesn't mean material wealth, but the wealth of the heart. A content person sees a flower bloom and smiles. A content person drinks a sip of water and feels its coolness. A content person is present in this moment without demanding it be different. A poor farmer complained to a Zen teacher. I only have a small piece of land, a few chickens, life is too lacking. The teacher invited him to stay at the temple for a few days. During that time, he ate simple vegetarian meals, slept on a bamboo mat, worked lightly with the monks. When he returned home, he looked at his land, his chickens, his roof, and burst into tears. So I've had so much and never noticed. Gratitude doesn't change circumstances, but it changes how we see them. Someone complains about a small house, forgetting it's a safe shelter. Someone sees only the pressure of their job, forgetting it sustains them and their family. Someone looks in the mirror and sees flaws, overlooking the miracle that this body keeps breathing and functioning day after day. Only when we pause and give thanks do we see we're not as deprived as we believed. Psychology shows, writing a gratitude journal for just a few minutes a day can significantly increase happiness and reduce anxiety and depression. When the brain registers gratitude, it activates regions linked to reward and satisfaction, releasing dopamine, the neurotransmitter of joy. Gratitude is like a natural medicine that softens the heart and brings peace. You can try noting 3 things you're grateful for before bed. Sit quietly and close your eyes. Recall 3 things from the day, maybe small, a smile, a cup of tea, a brief nap. For each one, breathe in deeply, and as you exhale, whisper, "Thank you." No need to write long, no need to be philosophical. A simple, sincere thank you is enough to nourish the heart. Perfection keeps us focused on a distant future where we think we'll finally be enough. Gratitude brings us back to the present, where we realize we already have so much to be at peace. When the heart is grateful, all imperfections feel complete. We've now walked through 7 Buddhist lessons to release the obsession with perfection. But how do we make these lessons more than theory? How do we weave them into daily life? The answer is to practice a simple mindful routine, just a few minutes a day. You don't need hours of meditation or a retreat in the mountains. Just a few small pauses each day can make a real difference. Morning, 3 breaths of acceptance. Right after you wake up, before touching your phone or thinking about your to-do list, sit quietly and breathe. Breathe in deeply. Exhale slowly. Whisper, "Today I will live with acceptance. I don't need to be perfect, I just need to be present." Just 3 breaths, but they begin your day with stillness instead of stress. Midday, rest in the middle way. While working, try 25 minutes focus, 5 minutes rest. In those 5 minutes, don't rush to open social media. Stand up, take a few slow steps, or drink a glass of water with full presence. This keeps your string just tight enough, no burnout, no slackness. Mealtime, mindful eating. Choose at least 1 meal to eat slowly. No phone, no email, no rushing. Just you, the food, and your breath. When chewing, chew slowly, feel each flavor and texture. Keep a gentle breath and recognize, life is nourishing me. A slow meal can be more healing than any vitamin. Afternoon, practice compassion. In a free moment, close your eyes for a 2-minute loving-kindness meditation. First, offer blessings to yourself, "May I be safe and at peace." Then offer them to a loved one. If possible, extend them to someone you like less, "May you also be safe and at peace." Just a few minutes can mend the cracks left by comparison and judgment. Evening, gratitude journal. Before sleeping, write down 3 things you were grateful for today. They can be tiny, a smile, a quiet moment, a short nap. When done, place a hand on your heart and whisper, "Thank you, life. Today I was enough." You don't need to do it perfectly. Some days you'll forget, some days you'll practice only one of the 5 steps. What matters isn't absolute perfection, but returning. Every time you pause to breathe, to be grateful, to be compassionate, you step out of the perfection trap. These small habits are like planting seeds of peace each day. At first, they're delicate sprouts. But over time, they grow into sturdy trees, casting shade across your whole life. We began this journey with a question: why can't we find peace, even though we try so hard to be perfect? The answer slowly appeared, because perfection is only a shadow. The more we chase it, the farther it retreats. And that exhausting chase leads us to burnout, tension, and anxiety. But through these Buddhist lessons, we've seen another path. Recognize the trap of perfection. Practice acceptance instead of control. Keep balance through the middle way. Cultivate compassion instead of comparison. Release the illusion of a perfect self. Slow down to truly be present. And finally, open the heart with gratitude. These lessons don't erase deadlines, emails, or outside pressures. They don't promise you'll never feel sad or worried again. But they give you a new way to be present, calm in the middle of the storm. Like a candle in the night, the winds of anxiety may blow hard, but if we know how to shield it, the flame of peace still shines. Mindfulness, compassion, and gratitude are the glass shade that keeps that flame from going out. If what we shared in this video brings you a bit of peace, please take a moment to support the channel by subscribing to Buddhism Wisdom, Spirituality, liking, and sharing. You never know, one mindful breath, one compassionate message, might be the gift someone in your circle truly needs. Treat this as a seed you plant. Each time you practice, each time you share peace, the world around you heals just a little more. And if you'd like to continue this journey, in the next video we'll explore a very relatable topic. From stress to stillness, 7 Buddhist lessons for modern life. Because sometimes, it's not work or circumstances that tire us out. It's the storm of thoughts that won't let go. If you've ever lain awake at night because your mind wouldn't release its grip, that video will be a gift for you. Until we meet again, please remember. You don't need to be perfect to be at peace. You just need to return to this breath, this moment, and realize you are already enough. And perhaps the simplest truth is this. Peace has never lived in perfection. Peace has always lived within you, waiting for you to pause, to breathe, and to notice.